Okay. I want to talk a bit about managing time, or balancing time, cost, and quality. So sometimes this is referred to as the iron triangle. We've spoken about time and costs, now we introduced quality. So people often say, yes, you must bring in a project on time, on budget, and to the right quality. So you can think of time. Okay, so what I want to say here is, on some projects, time is the most important thing, like an emergency project, you've got to wash away. You need to, and you're prepared to spend more money in order to fix this thing quickly. On other projects where you've got a very tight budget, then cost is the highest priority. And on other projects, think of something like building spacecraft. Quality would be the most important thing. One of the astronauts on the moon missions was asked the question, what is the most frightening thing or worrying thing for you in flying to the moon? And he said, flying on a spaceship that had been built by the cheapest tenderer. So quality is going to be very important there. So project management is a trade-off between these three criteria in order to achieve an optimum outcome. And one of the things that I find fun, if you like, is determining at the onset of your project, what is the most important of these three? Or are they all balanced? Is there a balance between them? Then we have, the PMBOK actually expands us into 6 constraints. There's schedule or time, and budget or costs, and quality. There's also scope, resources, and risk. So changing any of these factors will affect at least one of the other factors. So I'm going to throw out a question to you folk. If on your particular project, let me see, which one shall I pick? You want to keep the scope the same scope of work, but reduce the schedule, reduce the time in which the project is going to be done. Which of the other constraints will change? Mike?
It'll be cost and resources.
Yes, you need more resources and it's going to cost you more. Everyone agree? Okay. Should you really crunch that schedule down and continue compressing it very, very small? What else is going to be affected?
I think quality also needs to be looked at as well then, because now you're rushing everything and
yes.
You might compromise it.
Yes. And what else?
I would say risk.
Risk, yeah, very good.
Yeah. You will start taking chances with health and safety.
Yes, absolutely right. No? All right. Let's say we want to increase the scope of the work. What's going to be changed? Let's have hands. You can just raise your hand. Imran?
You would obviously increase your cost.
Cost is going to increase. Yeah?
And the time as well.
Cost and time, if the scope's going to increase. Yes, very good. Okay, so you see how they're interconnected. Project success is measured in terms of completing within these constraints. So on time, within budgets, to the right quality, delivering the full scope has been required, and using the resources that have been allocated to you. So that's optimizing organizational resources and keeping risk down at a certain level. And then finally, management may set a high priority on certain constraints. And you'll see some test questions, and these are quite fun to answer, where there's, let's say you have a shopping center that's got to be completed by year end, and maybe that's a governing constraint that management has set. And then you have the question is posed to you, there's a delay, whatever. What have you got to do? So you identify the governing constraint and then respond accordingly.